here, sorry.
Okay. And this meeting is being live streamed. If you're not comfortable with that, please say so. It's being live streamed so that you can have a replay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So good to be back again. It's been fine. It's been fine. A bit busy because the kids has been in school. They just finished yesterday. So, and I'm so grateful for the weather. Honestly, I don't know what anybody's saying, but I'm enjoying the weather. It's part of it. At least we enjoy it while it lasts. Hopefully very soon we'll start covering up again. So I'm happy with the weather. Everything has been all right. Fine with me. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, Rachel.
Well, I hope you're all keeping good. Oh, the sun is too much. The sun is too much for me. It's too hot. It's too hot. There is no fresh air in the sun. I don't know.
Right there. It's just hot.
I feel like the African sun or the Ugandan sun, like it would be so hot, but I would get some fresh air in it. And now I feel like I can't breathe. It's too hot, but no, I've loved it.
Something a basin of cold water, you get pressure.
Yeah, but I've loved it. I went to the beach, so it has been good. It has been good. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so my week has been slow, but I don't know, the weather has been so horrible. Like, so most times I've been in the house during the day and then working in the and then I have been getting ready for my travel. I'm going to Uganda. So I decided to travel around this time because I'm thinking, UK, it's gonna be too cold. And now check, we're having all the sunshine. Anyway, but everything is okay.
Even when it's too cold. I mean, when it's not really nice and warm in the summer. I wait for proper winter to travel because it will come. The winter.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Julie.
It's been a great week. I don't know about everyone else there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We people in the UK are not used to it. It is not hot. It is too hot. Then it's too cold. Then we wish the sun would come. Then when it comes, we wish it isn't there. So we don't know what we want. But for me, I'm one of those folks saying, "Yay, thank you, hallelujah, Jesus, bring more of those hot days on." And is Millie ready to say something? We're going to talk about your structure. Last week, we kind of started your journey. For some of you, it will be the start. For others, it's just polishing up, putting things in a better structure and running your idea into a profitable venture. Some of you are already profitable, but you want to get even more profitable. I know a couple of people here who are running some good businesses. So I'm very, very excited. But today we're focusing on being organized is the word. I think being organized is good for us. Someone's saying something to me. You all know me, so I'm not going to talk about me, but I'm going to ask you a question, and you're free to say that applies to me, or in your heart to yourself, or you can say it out loud. It does either way. We are here to share, to discuss, to grow together. But there's a reason why I'm asking you these questions, especially for those of you who have had a career in the UK and have tried different things and things just didn't work, or they didn't work out like you wanted to, or you knew you could do better, but you just couldn't break through. I'm sure many of you have a college education or college qualification. Probably everyone here has a university degree or a qualification to that effect. Have you lived in a room with your family? I've lived in one room with my whole family. Our whole room. It's our home. It's where we stay here in the UK. So I've been homeless. I don't know if any one of you has been homeless. I have. I'm married to a good man, and I feel blessed for that. I've worked a job where I've cleaned toilets. I've cleaned up after people's poops. I've supported people with their health when they are challenged, and sometimes I loved it, sometimes not so much. More times than most, not so much. I've had a negative balance in my bank account. I don't know if any of you have gone through that. I have. I've gone through a very difficult pregnancy as a mother. Probably that's why I only have 2. The last one decided, and the last one, I'm closing this door. No one's coming after me. It was a terrible pregnancy. I almost died. I had hyperemesis throughout the process. From the day I woke up and felt, I think I'm pregnant. The next day, that was it. It was like acknowledging and welcoming hyperemesis. I've had a great experience in the digital space, and I love social media. Some people think it's the devil's spawn. I love social media, and the digital space has more or less allowed me to build a thriving business. I've cried out to God and wondered, why has he forgotten me? More times than I can remember, because I forgot who I am. A lot of people think they are finding themselves, but it's more about remembering who we are, where we come from, what we are part of. We are part of the vine, we are the branches, the leaves, all those things. So I've been all these things and more, and yet I don't consider them my life. I just consider them a journey that has helped me to get where I am today, running 2 different business structures. We'll get into those in a bit. And so I want to ask you, what structure, based on your story, based on the things you've gone through, because all those things I've gone through, they've made me who I am. They did not break me, they made me. They made me stronger. And I am not unique in this, because most of you have gone probably dipped in and out of some of the things. Immigrants in Britain are better educated than the natives. Official statistics reveal this, with more than half of all foreign-born residents in the UK educated to a degree level. This is the highest proportion in Europe, with Ireland having the next highest share at 44%. And yet, immigrants, especially Black African immigrants, are at the bottom of the career totem poles, and our businesses, for some reason or other, do not take off, or we do not give them the attention they deserve. Of the total UK population, less than 1 in 3 people went through higher education. The total UK population, UK born, less than 1 in 3 people went through higher education. So all of you sitting here are more educated than the people you work with, probably, or you've worked with before. Yet, if you are given permission to work, you will not be allowed to become self-employed if you are a refugee or an asylum seeker until you get your papers sorted. So there's a lot of talent sitting here in the UK just because you're not UK born, you're not yet resident, you don't have a permission to work and all that juice. Now, the story is different for people outside of the UK, but there's help available. That is also the difference. In this country, than many other countries, there's a lot of help available. And if you actually start a business or you have an idea, you can reach out to, for instance, the Entrepreneurial Refugee Network if you're a refugee or an asylum seeker, and they will support your business idea. You can do that in tandem with your caseworker. Now, obviously, all of you here don't have that challenge, but you have people who have that challenge who think they can't do anything just because they are asylum seekers. You can start a social enterprise with an organization called TARN, or the Entrepreneurial Refugee Network. In addition, local authorities have a small pot of money for businesses. I told you last time that I applied for the £500, even if it meant literally exposing my whole family finances, and everybody was unamused, especially my husband. He was like, that's fine, I can give you that 500. And I'm like, no, I'll go for that 500 and you give me that 500. What I'm trying to bring to you is, if opportunity does not knock, as Milton Bell says, build a door. If opportunity doesn't knock at your door, build the door yourself. And that's why we are here. So y'all ladies are opportunity seekers, and some of you are serial opportunity builders and creators, serial entrepreneurs. Starting out, it's easy to have tunnel vision, but when you're choosing a business and a business structure, you must consider the future of that business. So when you think about your business, don't think about it as this is an idea I haven't even started. In your mind, see it already walking, running, sprinting, flying, like it's already done. What does that look like for you? What does that little baby seed in your head look like as a thriving business that's impacting your local economy, your national economy, your global economy? What does that look like for you? Because if you do not have that idea in your head, you cannot bring it to birth into life. If you do not consider the structure, you may need to frequently switch structures, which can become complicated and costly and even restricted. For instance, in the UK, it can be very restricted. So I encourage you to think about what you want your business to look like from the get-go and build it from that. I'll give you an example. When I started out as a sole trader. It was because it was me looking for something to do. My husband was gainfully employed, and the children were little anyway. So I was looking for something to do as me. So when I started, I was doing me, selling my own stuff, looking for things to sell, looking for things to promote. I dragged my husband into it as soon as I knew that it was something that you have to build a network. So I was like, you have to help me, you have to help me, you have to help me. And being a good man, he would help me. After work, he'd come on and say, okay, what do you want me to do today? And then I realized, well, we are working together, so we should have a partnership. And so it wasn't an official partnership, it was a partnership to us. We were partners, but to my accountant, it was just me. He kept saying, you should just register a company, and it can be you and your husband as directors, or you can just be a sole director, and then I can help you in a more constructive way. And I kept saying, you just want me to pay tax. You just want me to pay tax. So I was literally avoiding everything to do with having a company. And even though my husband was helping me, he wasn't officially part of the whole thing. He's running his career, I'm running my thing, because I'm trying to create some business and some income for myself as a woman. So in my mind, I did not have an idea where my business was going. I did not have a big plan how this was going to pay me long term and even cover my retirement. I dislike that word, by the way. I'll tell you why one of these days. Or I'll just tell you now. It's a construct that was created by the Industrial Revolutionists. Thank you, so. And it was where you work for 40 hours a week, and you only get 40% of what you were earning as a full-time income at the end of that. And you can't even do all the good things you were doing before, because now you only have 40% of your income. Retirement. You can turn it around and say, I've retired from working for somebody else, but I am not retired from life, and so I'm good. If you're planning on expanding your business, if you're planning on creating a business that actually pays you and pays other people who work with you, including suppliers, including freelancers that you can hire, including employees, then you have to consider a business structure that supports that kind of work. And a company or an LLP, which I'll explain in a bit, might be the way to go. Although you can expand with other business structures, you may have more investors as a company or a charity. Some of you want to build charities. And so you want to consider all those as structures. And I'm going to walk you through each of them one by one. Think about what you want to do with your business. Think about what you want to do with your business when you decide, I'm putting my shoes up, I'm hanging my boots, and I'm going to live on a beach somewhere and just enjoy my life, which other people call retiring. Does your business structure include an exit strategy? Does it involve transferring your company to someone else or closing your door? Think about it, because a lot of us, especially Black people, we build our business for life, right? We build our business and we think we're going to pass this on to our children, and so we're building it for family. But think about, just last night, my husband was watching news and my ears were listening. They were saying that Elon Musk has lost the case and he has to buy Twitter for some serious billions of dollars. Now, Twitter, when the people who created Twitter had an exit strategy, and when that time came, obviously they got a huge bid from Elon Musk, who is the brains behind Tesla. And then Elon Musk discovered that there was more fluff than solid structure behind what Twitter was selling to him, and he decided he was pulling out. But Twitter was having none of that, and they sued him. And so he's being forced to buy a company that he doesn't feel he can actually turn around into a thriving business. Those of us who work in the digital space have known for over the last 5 years that Twitter has, when something has had its day, we knew over 5 years ago that Twitter has had its day. Just like Instagram had its day, but Facebook is dragging it along. If you're part of the family, you'll be dragged along by the family, and they'll try to keep you going. So Facebook is trying to drag Instagram along. But Twitter had its day, and Elon Musk didn't know that when he made an offer to buy it. So what is your exit strategy? Exit strategy being when your business has grown to a certain level that you feel it's time to sell it on and go live on the beach and enjoy the fruits of my work. Do you have an idea like that? Or is your idea for life until you drop, until you pass, and your children then carry the burden on? Are they willing to carry that burden? Are you involving them in your vision so they'll be happy to carry the burden? Most parents don't. And so the children say, that's your vision, that's your dream, it's not mine. So let's dive into what those structures are. The different types of business structures that live in the UK are a sole trader, a partnership, a limited liability company, a limited liability partnership, which is an LLP, and we also have charities. They are also a business structure, although they are non-profit, or they are built around giving back as opposed to making profit. Now, all these structures have advantages and disadvantages depending on the factors that you might consider, like size of your business, the nature of your business, the future of your business, what's your plan for it. And I'm going to walk you through very quickly the structure and how you can compare them against each other, and you make a decision going forward today what you want to structure your business as in order to actually create for you a life-sustaining income that can also sustain the business. Don't be that person who was like, I only want to earn £2,500 a month. That's not a business. That's another job. And it probably is not sustaining the business either. or the person that's running it. But as a sole trader, it could be sustaining you. It depends. We'll look at all that because every business has costs. If as a sole trader you're earning £2,500 and you feel that's good enough for you, then that's good enough for you. A sole trader is someone who's self-employed. You're employing yourself. In the States, it's called being a sole proprietor. It's the easiest structure to form. And you have the least amount of government interference and government legislation or regulation to actually fulfill. It's often referred to as being the boss without all the fripperies of being a boss. There are other forms of self-employment, like being a contractor. You can be a contractor, especially if you're working in, for instance, I used to be a contractor as an auxiliary nurse. I was employing myself. I don't know how they did it. We had an accountant who would say, now you are the business and you're contracting yourself, and then you go out and work, and then you pay yourself dividends, and you pay. I think the HMRC has got on top of that and put a kibosh on it. But you can be a contractor. But a sole trader is the most popular structure for startups, for people like you and me. I started as a sole trader, and it's also the simplest. You pay income tax on your profits rather than corporation tax. So any profits that you make, for instance, in the UK, if you make over £45,001, £45,001, any profits you make above that will be taxed at 40%, and any profits you make above £150,000 will be taxed at 45% as a sole trader. Depending on your profits, you may also pay national insurance contributions. Obviously, if you're paying yourself as a sole trader, anything above £12,000 will incur national insurance contributions. But these are all things you can decide you're going to do for yourself, or for heaven's sakes, hire an accountant. That's why professionals are there. If you're making over 45,000, you're making over 150,000, why wouldn't you hire an accountant? Like, it's carrying the donkey. I don't like doing all these extra things, so I always hire somebody to do their job and spread the love. So being a sole trader doesn't necessarily mean you work alone. A lot of people actually misunderstand that. It's just simply that you hire yourself. You are the sole trader, but you have people that you can hire to do several tasks in your business, and you pay them on that level, and they mind their own business. They mind their own taxes. They mind their own NI contributions. They mind their own. They are also sole traders in their own right. You're just hiring them to do that. The man who got the contract to rebuild our home when it was destroyed by a flood, and that's why we became homeless. If you were wondering how come she says she was homeless, it's because our home got destroyed by a flood in 2009 December, going into it was actually the 31st of December 2009 going into 2010. And so we came back home from a holiday to Uganda to no home, and we were homeless. The man who got the contract to rebuild and repair the house was actually a sole trader. He would hire different tradesmen on a cash basis. So he would get a plumber, a plasterer, electricians, all the different tradesmen he hired. Because when we would talk to them, we'd say, so how long have you known this guy? And they'd go, no, I only got to know him a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, or I've been working with him on and off. I run my own business. So sole traders, you can hire other people. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you work alone. You can employ staff. As long as you inform Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs and follow the employment laws of your country, you will have no problem with your structure. The advantages of being a sole trader are quite simply, you pay no fees to register, you have very little red tape, you are in full control of your business decisions, and you get to keep all the profits of your businesses after tax and after the overheads that you pay as a business owner. It may sound very attractive, wouldn't it? But there's a big, huge disadvantage of being a sole trader, especially if your business falls into trouble. And that is that your personal finances are not legally separate from you. This means if you fall into debt, if you're sued, if you meet any liability, they can be met from your personal wealth. Someone can come and sue you and sell your house to pay off that debt as a sole trader. They can actually attach your house or your property. It exposes you to a lot of risk. And when I say the word risk, I usually use it with a lot of caution, because I don't like to use certain words, but that is literally what you are exposing yourself to as a sole trader, other than using a different business structure. So it may not be suitable for a high cost startup. If you're going to build a big business, then you might want to stay away from sole tradership, or you might start as a sole trader so that you build up some income and then register whatever you might want to register, either partnership, an LLP, or a company. And if you're building this so that you can give back to the people, a charity. Let's talk about a partnership. Remember I said that when I started, well, it was me and myself. And then I dragged my partner into things. And I was like, okay, we are now building this business together. And when we did that, within 6 weeks, we made 5 figures. Now, it was hard work, a lot of hard work. Partnerships are also relatively easy to form. And you can start a partnership with literally a handshake. You say, Rosemary, can we do this ABC? I'm going to be part of your soup empire, and I'd like to invest in that soup empire. You do the creative work. I'll bring in some capital. Let's do this together. And you shake hands on it. However, someone who comes from a legal background, I'd tell you that don't ever stop on a handshake. Have some agreements drafted so you know where each stand when it comes to that partnership, because partnerships are also the most controversial structures when it comes to, if they don't agree on some things, or someone gets greedy, or, there are so many things. And if it's a charity, they can even try to throw you out of the business and take over that business. Also as a company as well, because you can be partners in a company and a charity. Partnerships are very versatile. They can go into different parts of structures. You sign a partnership agreement to establish how the business ownerships, profits, and liabilities will be shared between you, and how partners may leave the partnership. Because some people may decide, having done ABCD after all these months or years, I don't feel comfortable working with you anymore, or I just want to pull out my capital and go do other stuff. And so, guys, I'm going to leave this partnership. How do people leave the partnership? What are the terms and conditions for leaving the partnership? You need to agree these things. Otherwise, you can get to that place and you are not very happy when someone pulls out everything of what they put in, plus what they consider profits, because they are partners. So it's similar to a sole trader structure, except that there are at least 2 of you, that being the minimum for a partnership. There is no legal upper limit as to how many partners can be in a partnership, although very large partnerships can be very risky, because the management of that partnership can be there's a huge gray space there. You don't know who stops where. And we human beings, we kind of disagree on things, and we like to feel bigger than others, and we'll feel like we are more superior. And in partnerships, that happens as well. You can see that even in a relationship. At the very base level of a partnership, in a relationship, a woman and man, or husband and wife, or she and she, or he and he, there's always someone who feels like they're more superior in that relationship. Not always, but sometimes, and it shows. And we are human, so we are good like that. Each partner registers as self-employed for purposes of taxes, and submits their own separate tax returns, and they have their own national insurance contributions or obligations. So everything else is like a sole trader. The only thing is you have a similar goal, a similar pathway that you're taking at the same time, a similar journey, and you agree to do that together. The advantages of that is that there's flexibility, there's simplicity, with the added bonus of having more people to run the business with you, and to bounce ideas off together, spread the risk, maybe also contribute to the finances and all those things. There are more people to do that. But the disadvantages, I've also already just shared some of them with you. And unless you are just 2 and the other person is your husband, I've had partnerships that lead to breakups of relationships, where the finances come seep into the love side and things just go pear-shaped. But all partners are jointly and severally responsible for all business debt. For all debts and all liabilities, partners are jointly and severally responsible. This means that if one partner causes the business to go into debt, and a supplier sues them successfully and sues that partner and in the business, all the other partners must share into the damages that come from that suit. So even if you didn't cause the wahala, you're gonna pay for the wahala as a partnership. There's a lot of trust in that structure, a lot of trust, and we all know that trust is earned, and yet people demand it. But either way, whether you demand it or not, you have to earn it from your partners, from your suppliers, from your stakeholders, from everybody you work with. They have to trust everybody in the partnership in order for that to succeed. I'm thinking in your mind, you're thinking, I'll stay away from partnerships. I'm going to stay a sole trader. But hey, there's more. There are more things you can think about. Your idea could be something that could turn into a proper company. You could build a company around it. In fact, a lot of sole traders and partnerships end up building a limited company. And your company can be limited by shares, or it can be limited by guarantee. And companies limited by shares are profitable. You're going to build a business, you're going to build profit, you're going to share the profit. Companies limited by guarantee are usually voluntary organizations, non-profit organizations, organizations that are working for communities, like charities, like community interest companies. Like WODIN is a community interest company, where you are, whatever you produce in terms of profit, you plow it back into the community and into the tasks and roles and programs you're running in that company or in that charity. The only difference between the charity and the company is here in the UK, charities report to Charities Commission and companies report to Companies House. And that's the difference in terms of reporting. For companies limited by guarantee like WODIN, we also report to the community interest, what's he called? There's someone else we report to. So every year we have to create a report on all the community work we've done and send it to this person or entity, and they can then give us more permission to carry on as a limited company by guarantee, as a community interest company. Sometimes words go out of my head and they don't come back. This Joe, anywho, I'll remember the word in a bit. So incorporating your business as a limited company requires you to register it. You can register it with Companies House. You can register it with whichever organization that deals with registration of companies in whichever country you want to register that company. Because some of you want to build companies outside of the UK. You can have a company in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Uganda, in the Caribbean. You can have a company that is a sister company to, say, your company in the UK. You will have to register it with whichever body registers companies in that country. And this creates a separate legal entity. So your company is separate from you. So you've created a whole virtual persona. That's your company. And you are part of that virtual persona as a human being. It is also the most time-consuming structure to form. It is so time-consuming in terms of all the things you have to do to keep it standing, walking, and thriving. You must appoint directors. You can be a sole director, by the way. So if you're a sole director, that also means you're probably also the sole worker. You're also the sole officer. So you can appoint directors, you can appoint officers. You have to file a constitution for that company, which in the UK is usually articles of association, and issue shares, among other things. And if you're the sole director, you hold 100% of those shares. In the UK, all information around all that can be found for free. Please don't let anybody charge you anything to find this information. It's available at Companies House, and it's all online. And that website is the most comprehensive website I've ever visited. There are links upon links, there are hidden pages upon hidden pages, there are downloads, there are so many resources on that website. You might decide, I want somebody else to carry this burden, so I'm going to appoint a company secretary to do all that work, to have all that time to check out all that needs to be checked out and tick all the boxes we need to take as a company with Companies House here in the UK. And so you can appoint that officer, a general secretary or company secretary. And so in most cases, it's usually also your accountant, because, they can do all these things and not charge you a fortune. We'll send you some resources on all that, setting up a company in the UK. If you want to set up a company in another country, you have to find somebody in that country who can guide you in that space. What are the advantages of this business structure? Like, why should you form a company as opposed to a sole tradership or a partnership with your boo and your friends and your, people who are willing to invest in you? The main advantage being that company creates a separate financial and legal entity from you as a person, which reduces your personal exposure to financial risk and legal risk as well. So if the business fails or you're sued, then you are liable only for the face value of the shares in the business. Now, for instance, Women and Digital Inclusion only has 1 share per director. So, and each share £1. So if WODIN were to be sued, we'd only pay £1. That is the value of the company shares, £1. And so the maximum we would pay would be £100, which is 100%, which is £100. Another big advantage is the tax advantage. I come from Uganda, and there's a whole gray area around companies, around taxes, around whatever. But here in the UK, I don't know about Ghana, I don't know about Nigeria. I have a friend who has an organization here in the UK, and they formed a sister company or charity in Uganda. It has the same name, but it is For instance, you have WODIN UK and then you have WODIN Uganda. It's the same company, but in a different continent and different country. But they had to fulfill the obligations that they needed to fulfill in Uganda, and they're now able to support their causes in Uganda. Here in the UK, companies pay corporation tax at 19% of their profit. Charities are not supposed to pay corporation tax, they're charities, and they have their own laws and regulations that govern them to run as charities. But companies, for instance, even companies limited by guarantee, if you're trading, if for instance WODIN were trading, or maybe we were selling crafts and we are selling something on the side and we are making money out of that, whatever profits we make is liable to corporation tax at 19% of the profits. So after overheads, after we have paid whatever we need to pay, we would have to pay corporation tax on the profits. This can be way more tax efficient than, for instance, paying 40% income tax, because that's what you would pay for anything over 45,000, 40%. And even 45% if we are earning more than 150,000 pounds from our trading activities. So that would be 45%. That's almost 50% of whatever you are making going to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, a very, very thirsty entity. Setting up a company would save you as a sole trader or a partnership from paying all that 40-45%, depending on the profits you're making. So you'd be just paying just under 20%. I tell you, I'd pay that any day than pay the 40%, because I have a huge vision for my business. This business that I run as a digital media company, and then this entity I run as a community interest company, they are not just going to start at 10 to end at 10,000 pounds. I see them flying through millions of pounds. And so I know that it is a no-brainer to focus on creating a company or a charity where my tax obligations and risk are reduced to at least under 20%. As a director of your company or your charity, you're going to pay your income tax, you're going to pay a tax on whatever dividends you pay yourself, whatever salary you pay yourself. You're going to be taxed accordingly, and you have to speak to your accountant to understand what your personal tax obligations are. But you would still be paying way less tax as a company. What are the disadvantages though? There's more administration. I cannot tell you how much stress I went through in the month of May trying to speak to my accountant and get them to understand the difference between a community interest company and a company limited by shares. In his mind, they were one and the same thing, until I said, I'm firing you, you're fired. Because I cannot be telling you what to do. It's your job. And if you don't know your job, I'm going to find someone who knows their job. And then somehow he knows what I was talking about. So I was like, why were you giving me all this headache? I had to go through all of our accounts, item by item, explaining it to him. It was headache. The administration of running a company can be a bit mind-boggling. You're likely to need a company secretary. You definitely need an accountant. Do not become that person if you're not trained in that space. Because a lot of us, especially Black people, we like to do everything. We become jacks of all trades. But remember, jack of all trades is a master of none. So you want to focus where you're supremely qualified to focus your attention on that baby idea that you are building into a business. And so if you're not an accountant, or you do not have any legal background, don't go becoming company secretary. It's going to be a headache. So outsource these roles and give yourself the freedom to focus on running the business and bringing in the business. You must also submit annual company tax returns and full statutory accounts to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC. In the UK, you're responsible for paying your employees' income tax and national insurance contributions too. Again, that also happens when you reach a certain level of income. And so you're going to have to hire an accountant to help you do those things, because you don't want to be doing those things. And when your business grows, you can actually hire an in-house accountant and have a finance department and a HR department dealing with all that wahala. But until then, when you've just started, which most of us here are, then you have to think about these things. So a company is good for a maturing business. A company is good for that business that's ready to trade in agility for greater stability in the long run. You want to think about those things when you're considering your business. Whether your business is in the UK, in the US, in Nigeria, Uganda, Caribbean, Ghana, you name it. You want to think about these things because it is what will help you build a business that thrives. One of the biggest reasons, and I'm saying this with the biggest love, one of the biggest reasons that we Black people don't succeed in our businesses is we are small-minded. We think about the money we are going to make. It has to be all mine. I don't want to pay taxes on it. I don't want to do anything on it. It has to all come to me. So I'm not even paying an accountant. I'm not paying nobody. I have to do all the work so that I eat all the money. But remember that a closed fist cannot receive either. You're closing your business to you. Leverage is out the window. You can't leverage anything because you can only spread yourself so far. You can only do so much as a person. So if you're paying only you to do all the work, then you can only do so much. You cannot scale your business because you're the business is you. And you're not willing to bring in anybody, scale your business. And so you have to start thinking about where you want your business to go. How big do you want this business to go? What's the vision? What's the vision? What's the vision? That determines the structure. Now, we talked about being contractors or umbrella companies. That's what I was. An umbrella company. My business was called Sylvia Kalunji, and I was also the employee, Sylvia Kalunji. And so I would go out and do it. I was doing shifts every day. And then at the end of the week, I'd make like 500, 600 pounds. And it would all come to me because my accountant would do the taxes, and then I was the employee, I was the director, I was paying myself salary, then I'd pay myself dividends. HMRC found these things out and shut them down. So now you have to, I don't know how you guys do it in the care sector, in the nursing sector, but we were contractors. As a contractor, you're set up as a limited company of one person, or you join an umbrella company. And you are a sole trader, and you pay agency fees. That's the only thing I paid because we were part of an agency and they did all these things for us. And for legal purposes, you are a contractor who is an employee of your company. It's very complicated, and I can tell you now, if I didn't have an accountant doing it for me, then I probably wouldn't have done it. But I don't know how it's done today, but that's how it works. Now, on a larger scale, a lot of people are contractors in their own company as charities, where they hire themselves to work in their charity as sole traders. Now, there is a process, and the HMRC is saying it doesn't like that. Just get hired as an employee directly by your company or charity, create a payroll, and go through the process. That's it. Now, if you have friends or your partner and you want to make it official and create a limited liability partnership, a popular structure for popular services, for legal firms, for accountants, and it's similar to standard partnerships. The only difference is they are literally almost like a mini company. They have a limited liability, and they have to be registered at Companies House as limited liability partnerships. And they must have at least 2 partners who must be designated members who take responsibility for filing the annual accounts to Companies House. Now, obviously you can hire an accountant to do that, but there must be at least 2 partners who, in Companies House eyes, are responsible for making sure that those accounts are filed from your LLP. Now, the advantage is each partner registers as self-employed and submits a separate tax return. But if the business fails, each partner is only liable for the face value of his or her share. So if you decide that your share is valued at £1, then that's all you are liable for as a partner. So that's why a lot of accountancies and legal firms and architectural firms and those professional services, consultancy firms are registered as LLPs. And sometimes I used to wonder, why is Barclays an LLP? And then I realized it's all the advantages of being a partnership without being a company. So Barclays and most banks in the UK are LLPs or LLCs, as opposed to companies limited by shares by hundreds of membership. And the administrative burden managing an LLP is similar to that of a company, and so that's the main disadvantage. Really, you just have to hire an accountant to help you go through all the legal and financial loopholes, or not really loopholes, that's not the word I'm looking for. The burdens and challenges that you may meet when you're running your LLP. If you have more than, I would think about it this way, if there are more than 10 people in that partnership, then you really are better off, in my humble view. Regardless of how you structure your business, you need a reliable way to track your transactions, to track your finances, to keep on top of your finances or books of accounts, to have a plan to succeed, to have an exit strategy. And when I say exit strategy, you know what I mean now, do you?
Yes.
If you decide this business is doing great, but I've had enough, what happens? Are you just going to stop, or are you going to sell it? That's what smart people do. You sell the business. It's a going concern. For instance, if I don't really want to carry on running a certain website, I sell the website. I sell it. I've built the website. It has authority. It has traffic running to it. It's already established. Websites can sell for as much as 5 grand, 10 grand, 30 grand, even millions of pounds, because depending on how much traffic your website attracts and how much revenue you make from that website. You can make a ton of money from your website. And a lot of Black people just have their website, then walk away from their website. They even leave it to expire and disappear off the interwebs. And it just drives me crazy when I see smart people doing that. And as if you open the shop on the high street, would you just walk away from it because you've had enough of it? So you just walk away and leave your stock there. You don't pay your rates, just leave it. First of all, you'll have people chasing you you'll be in debt. Unless you own the building, you'd have to pay your rent. And you have to pay your licenses because you still have a business on the street. And so you'd have a lot of people chasing you because you did not pay your debts. You walked away from your business. But people think they can do that in the digital space because, well, it's just a website. And it really, really just drives me crazy, because creating a website is creating your digital brand. Your business is now on the interwebs. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next hour. What would your juice, your sauce thrive best with, Rosemary? In your mind.
Thinking about it, I was thinking the sole trader, so I don't have any hassle. But I realize that limited by guarantee or limited by, I don't know, by shares will be a very good option, for me. Ideally. So I'll go for limited by guarantee.
Oh, so you're gonna create a CIC?
I think so. I might start the sole trader first to test it, and then the reason why I want to do it in food industry, you can be it's a dangerous area for suing people for whatever. So that's why I would think sole trader first, and then gradually move over to limited by guarantee.
So awesome. We're gonna have Bridget Doyle, who's gonna bring even more clarity and shed more light on your business, legal requirements, legal entities, financial requirements or responsibilities, and creating a business plan that actually gets your business moving, and hopefully transitioning from a sole trader to a company more smoothly than most people actually get to do that. So we have Bridget on 2 separate sessions, so I can't wait for what she's going to bring to us. She's a professional, she's a coach, she's a consultant, she's also a lawyer by trade here in the UK with international exposure. She's been working for a voluntary organization and with voluntary organizations for years. So she's got over 20 years of experience. She's going to bring some really good stuff for us here. I think she's coming on the 27th. That is, we're having her next. So next week we have Bridget Doyle coming on. So think about your structure. I know, for instance, Sarah probably is a sole trader. Do you want to stay a sole trader, or is it better to, I think you also have a company, I'm not very sure. Abby, is it Abby or Obi?
It's Abby, yeah.
Abby, you're running a business, aren't you? Fashion, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm running a health and
wellness.
yeah, business.
You have you are a representative with a health and wellness business.
Yes.
Weren't you running a fashion business before, or is that hobby?
No.
It's
Hobby does fashion.
So I'm confusing Obi and Ebi. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but also Ebi, you also run a charity.
Yes, but not too big at the moment.
Well, see, the size doesn't matter. You see a mustard seed starts as a very tiny, almost invisible seed. It grows into a massive tree, right? So
yes.
Don't think about the size now, because we're really talking about starting. But there, you have an advantage that you've already started. So that means you have some experiences that you might want to share with us. What are the loopholes that people can jump through? What are the challenges you have met, and therefore that people can avoid? So the size doesn't matter. It is that you've already started. Sarah, for instance, is also already started. What challenges have you met? Juliet is running a whole school. What challenges did she meet when she started? So we want to share these things. But before we do, we're going to have a 10-minute break.
4 consecutive years. And one time, I said he's come to London to live with the son. But because of that, what I do, he came back to Liverpool. He always, he comes and buys about 4 jars. So that's why I want to do it.
Yeah, Mary, there is this guy called Ola. I've seen him do it on a bigger scale, where I think they rent out like a kitchen and then they package them in bags, they do the jollof rice and then package them in bags, like the Ben rice.
Yes, so, I don't do rice because rice is highly,
okay.
I just do the sauce.
The sauce, yeah.
Yeah, I just do the sauce. I don't do the rice. What I really need is a proper business plan, because now I'm retired.
Yeah.
Proper business plan. I probably need to employ somebody to help me.
Yeah.
So I need somebody to help me. So how to go about employing somebody, getting a kitchen, already purpose-built kitchen that I could use. I could use my home kitchen. It's big enough, but I would need to have a local authority inspector to come a lot to see what I'm doing or whatever. But I would prefer to do it in a purpose-built kitchen where I have space to do the containers and whatever you need to do. So that's the thing. And about the cake thing, what I meant to say before was, you need to start by anywhere they've got event and you happen to go, do a business card.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest you do first. Do a business card, give it out, because that's how I got to get someone to make cake for my granddaughter. Because I went to everyone to church service. After the service, the woman came to me. It's a black woman. She came to me, gave me a card. So my daughter rang her and she said, I like the sound of her. So she made the cake. So that's why I'm saying you need to have a business card to start off with. Obviously, you're going to start from home. You're not going to be, doing and you haven't got a shop. So the best thing is to do a business card, give that business card out, and that will give you the amount of people wanting your product.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, awesome. Welcome back, ladies. We were having a mini lesson from Rosemary, and there we are sharing, Sarah, sharing Ola, and all that. That's why we are here, because if I talk, then none of that would come out, would it? So, would we hear from room 1? Who did you designate as your spokesperson, and can we hear from room 1? Because you was sitting in the room talking about your vision, your mission, your objectives, and your model. So, did you come up with? Did you all choose one vision and one mission? I'm sure you each had a different one. Would you like to share with us?
Are we room 1? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Rosemary was in room 2. Eddie, I think you were in room 1. Yes.
Okay. Everybody wants to go, or should I carry on?
Carry on. Because we have Eddie, Juliet, Rachel.
Oh,
And
okay.
in room 2, we have Rosemary, Sarah, Uchechi. And I think Josephine was added to room 1 too, but she's not here as well again, or is she? I don't know. Go on.
Okay. Hi everyone. So oh wow, it was a wonderful time we had. So Julia shared her vision, about starting up a school. And the school, her target is teenagers, and it should be back there in her country, in Uganda. So her vision is to encourage these youths to, because most of them go into, they drop off school and go into maybe business or things like that. But her vision is to see that, they finish school, learn maybe acquire some knowledge, maybe a training on a particular thing, which they can be used to start up their life. Instead of going into menial things or maybe dropping off school to not doing something reasonable for their life. So that's it. So target is to see that they learn something and they become maybe self-employed in the future, instead of maybe depending on a circular job and the rest of it. So yeah, so Rachel also shared her own vision and her mission, which is to start up a hotel accommodation, to maybe for like short holidays, or a hotel where people can just come and stay for a while. And her intention is starting in Uganda as well, but she have intention of starting up here in the UK. So which she was encouraged that it's a good one. And so I also shared an idea that somehow we're into apartments business as well. So that's we'll be happy to share more information with her anytime she's willing to learn. I do that with my husband, so we'll be happy to share as well. I also explained how we started up from a very low background, and we are, by the grace of God, where we are presently at the moment. So finally, I also shared my own business as well, also shared that that's one of the things that encouraged me to join this training, because I needed to learn more about how I can actually use social media to push out my sole proprietor business, but also shared that in as much as presently I'm not able to raise the big capital to start up a big company, so there is this company that I kind of become a franchise partner to, and my vision is to encourage women to be on top of their health, to take responsibility of their health. It's a health and wellness business that I started up. I've got a name, by the grace of God. So just to where we can use what God has blessed us with, which is fruit and vegetables, to stay healthy, and pass it on to our children as well, because consciously or unconsciously they are seeing what we are doing and they are learning from it. And being on social media, I also explained that my target being young women between the age of 40 to like 70 or above, and not targeting only my locality, but I target being on social media, because I know I can get in more being on social. I can reach out to more mommies being on social media. So that's it.
Thank you, room 1. Thank you so much. I'll be dipping in and out of your ideas, missions, visions as we go. And can we hear from room number 2? And that was Rosemary, Sarah, and Uchechi.
Well, okay. Will anybody in our group like to speak up, or do you want me to just quickly go through it?
Go on, Rosie.
Hi. Right. Okay. It was really good one. Uchechi, her passion is children with challenging behavior. She's already, working with them. Her ideal thing would be to set up a center where she'll be able to look after these children and support them and their families. And also, she mentioned that she would like to set up this similar thing in Nigeria, whereby she will build like a home where these children will be or center where the children will be supported and the family supported, because truly, she was very, very correct. We don't have such a center back home. Children with challenging behavior are left to their own devices or no devices at all. Families don't know how to support them. So
they call them stupid. Back in Uganda, they say that child is stupid.
Yes, exactly.
When they are not, they just have their mind works different.
Behavior. And even outside Nigeria, I found that Nigerians, even here, they still looked at children with challenging behavior with disdain. Oh God, what are you raising? And they use it to insult other parents who have got such children. So we still don't really truly understand what it is to have a child with challenging behavior, i.e. for the most, I think it's getting common now. I'm seeing a lot of autistic children. And both the parents, even here, don't even accept that the children have issues. So I think what she's going to do will be really amazing, to pull off. Also, let me move on. Then Sarah has his cakes. She loves, cakes. She likes passion for cakes. Making cakes.
Delicious. She makes delicious.
Exactly. That's why I suggested that the best thing would be to distribute cards. And I forgot to mention to her Instagram. I know a lot of people advertise on Instagram about what they do or what they don't do. Again, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I think if that was me, I'll be using those avenues to advertise what I do. And then get start from there, getting customers, and then build my business from there. Also, for me, I love cooking. I do have passion for cooking a specific food, and that people always say you make you do the best, whatever. So that has been the reason I've done it in festivals. I've done it for friends.
For community events.
Yes, I have. I mean, just a quick story
for
now.
Our church.
Well, let me make you laugh now. I was told, I think I told you the story. Yeah. Somebody mentioned that the jollof rice is too dry. Said no more. And it's just somebody, not even somebody of color. So I'm saying I'm good at certain things. Some people don't think so, but that is life. Anyway, so I like to do this sauce genuinely, and I like to do it because there's a gap in the market for that kind of thing. I remember when Roy did the reggae sauce on that Dragon's Den. Reggae sauce is the most disgusting sauce ever. I bought it just to give it a try.
Didn't I say last time with respect that I don't know about reggae sauce, but we saw him on telly. We related to his story. We all bought reggae sauce at least once.
Same here. I like to support my brother. So that's what I'm saying. There's a gap in the market for something like that. But as I said before, I've done food hygiene over the years. I need to update it again. But I'm keen on doing this because it's something I love doing. So that's mine. But I need to find. Richard suggested about somebody that does food and packages and sell. No people who do that. But I want to do it in such a way that you see it in shops. That's what I'm aiming for. Shops. I've been scared of. Years ago. I'm not dropping names. It was a mayor. He came to my festival. Not my festival. He came to this festival, bought the sauce, got the secretary to phone me. If I want money to start a business, I should come. I never went because I was working.
But you can go again. I
was, it's no longer the mayor. So I was working at the time, and there was no way I could do that. So that's why I don't want to start something and fail because of time. And I love my work. I couldn't leave my work to go and do that. So now, that's why I'm keen now to do it.
Awesome. Wow. Awesome. Very, very varying ideas and very interesting because clearly we have powerful women here who can potentially impact our communities with amazing cake. Our children have someone who can actually support them, and because not just the children, the parents need so much support because raising a child with challenging behaviors and autism and ADHD and all that, it's very difficult because the child can also be difficult to raise for the parent because no one gets a parenting book. You're just like, what's wrong with this child? Eh? And we Africans don't even go there when it comes to looking at other people's lives and stories. We judge so harshly.
Yes.
We're looking at a school encouraging youths to step up and be more responsible and choose to build something as opposed to just finish school, get married, have babies, and look to society to support them. A hotel, short stays, yes, please. Rachel, we are in the same headspace, and Abby says she can support us. So I'm very excited to hear that that vision. Sole proprietor business, running our health. Now we need to talk, Abby, because there's a project that WODIN will be running soon, supporting women into better health. I think I spoke about it briefly, one of the live sessions we had, where we can have swimming lessons or Zumba or whatever. And I'm thinking we could also have healthy meals planned, and a kind of resource pack for healthy eating. So you might be the person that WODIN collaborates with on that front. We will see. I'll keep you posted on the details because it starts next year. It doesn't start this year anymore.
It's okay.
I am so busy. I don't even know what my name is anymore. So
That's what I like.
Another project this year.
Yeah.
The timelines are just too tight, but definitely be sure that I'll keep you posted. So let's look at, having shared with me your visions, your missions, your objectives, I want to encourage you to, and I'm just going to share my screen now so that we can get into some quick practical steps to help you get those ideas into something a lot more that will move to. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so, oh, I think I've jumped a page. Market research. I'm glad that you all have a very clear idea what you're doing. Some of you are already doing it. It's never too late to do market research because that can catapult our business to the next level if we are already doing our business, where we actively reach out to people who fit our customer, our ideal client persona, both online and offline. And when I look at a business model like Abby's, definitely offline is a good way to start, because reaching out to people online, especially say for purposes of going through a survey or whatever, can be a bit like hard pepper. But when you reach out to people, you can actually get a good feel of what it is they need. You find out their needs, find out their desires. There might not be any. I guarantee you, for instance, in Abby's case, we all definitely would love to keep fit, stay healthy, be resilient, be able to chase our grandchildren up and around the park and even beat them at a race and things like that. We all want to live till we are 90 and still walking like the queen. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sure we all have our aspirations for our health. The question is, are you inspiring us to step up? If you don't inspire people to step up and want something as opposed to needing something, see you later. We carry on saying, I'm not too bad. Have you ever greeted somebody and you say, how are you today? And they say, not too bad. Because the bad means there's a bad in there somewhere, but it's not too bad. We can live with it. That's why I never tell somebody I'm not too bad. I'm either well or I'm not well. So there's no not too bad in between. Show confidence, passion, and authority in the way you communicate, because it's your vision. It's your seed. Only you know how passionate you are about it. I'm not passionate about your seed. You are. So you have to show authority in your communication. That's who people want to work with and to guide them. If you're going to be guiding them or they're going to be consulting with you, or they're going to buy your product. If you're passionate, if you're confident and speak with authority about what you do, even if you went to the Dragon's Den, they'd consider you as an option, especially if you did your market research and you have your numbers. I talked about numbers before when I was finishing part one of this session today. You have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers and you ever faced an investor, and that investor doesn't have to be on Dragon's Den, any investor, if you don't know your numbers, nobody's going to invest in you, period. And Normally I do this kind of training for people who are also asylum seekers. And just because you're in the system trying to get through on the other side and get your papers doesn't mean you don't have ideas. But don't ever do anything that compromises your status. So if in doubt, consult a caseworker, a legal practitioner, a financial specialist. But it's not just people who are in the immigration system, it's all of us. We have to consult people in the legal, financial, and tax specialists for our businesses to thrive, because we don't want to fail. So if you want to do proper market research, this is what you need to do. What you want to do is interview people who you believe are your target market or your target audience. So, and you at least know 10 people. I promise you, you do. I don't know anyone, but in my phone, this gadget here, I have over 1,000 numbers. So I can't miss to have 10 people to pass my idea by. Yeah. Your aim is to help you to develop and create offers, products and services that are suitable for them, to solve a specific problem for them, to fulfill a desire for them. We spoke about that last week, so I don't want to flog that specific anymore. It is already been flogged. So start as you wish to continue. A big challenge for most business startups, especially Black business startups and people of color. We want to do things, side gigs, small, committed, not committed. I do it, but I'm not doing it. I do this on the side. So if someone comes to me and wants to make an order, I'm like, okay, I have 10 shifts. I don't think I can do that for you. Is this a business or is it a hobby? If it's a hobby, it will cost you like 1. If it's a business, it will reward you like 1. So make appointments with your target audience like a profession. Like when you reach out to somebody and they agree to speak to you, send them a link to book an appointment with you. Or sit down with them and say, okay, this is my diary. This is my physical diary. If you're with them physically, don't send them a link, like it's just rude. So if you're sitting down with them, make sure you have your diary and so you have your dates and times available and you can book a time with them. And if you're doing it socially, if you're like Abby and you want to connect with people on social media, you definitely can use Google Calendar. So you don't have to be using highfalutin, fancy schmancy stuff, but you definitely can come across as professional if you so choose. Otherwise, people will take your market research like a casual thing, and then get them to book some time with you purely for asking them questions. Please don't pitch them anything at that point, especially if you're already running your business. The idea is to ask them questions regarding their aims, regarding their needs, and purely checking if they are the right fit for your business, for your idea, and vice versa, because you might not be the right fit for them. And a lot of people don't recognize that they too are in the frame. As you're asking someone questions, they are screening you as well. So you have to be doing that job. Now, some of the questions you might ask people are right in front of you. And obviously you're going to get these as a resource, so don't be taking screenshots and all that. It will be wasting your time because you'll get this as a downloadable where you can actually copy these for yourself. So ask people what their challenges are, what their biggest struggles are, or what's their biggest desire regarding cake. What kind of cake do they like? Do they like African cake that actually crumbles? Do they like their cake solid? I call it African cake because I like my cake solid. I don't like this Victoria Spanish stuff. I want a proper cake, like I'm eating a meal when I'm eating my cake, like it's a plate of salsa. So African cakes like that. Then there's Victorian sponge and all kinds of different cakes, scones, muffins, you name it. What do they like most? Ask them, how long, has their challenge or struggle been a challenge? And for things like desires, you can miss that question. So you be very intuitive about what you ask people. What have you done about it? Did it work? If not, what do you think it didn't work? If you're directing people to your consultancy, to your coaching business, to a business like creating a school or a business like where you're going to get parents to bring their children to you with challenging behavior. These are some of the questions you can ask them. What have you done about it this far? What worked? What didn't work? Have you ever hired someone? Have you ever worked with a service provider? Have you ever had a product like this created just for you? Because everyone you speak to, You'll be giving them that opportunity to say, you're going to be part of the creation of this amazing sauce. You're going to be part of the creation of cakes that people are going to like, the mouth-watering cakes. Like, you know, that girl we watched on The Apprentice, who won The Apprentice? Did you see how confident she was about what she was doing and the things she produces? I'm sure the things she produces, other people are producing them, but the way she spoke, you think she was the first one to ever bake a cake since God created the earth. So you have that confidence that I don't care who else is doing this out there. Mine is the thing. It is the one you want to buy. And ask them if their challenge was solved, or if you created something that they would like, what would that look like? What were they looking to achieve? What does it look like for them? When you do market research like that, you can create in the digital space, you can create a little Google survey. You can use SurveyMonkey. You can use Google Forms. There are multiple survey tools online, and they are free. So you just have to choose which one you want to use. Make sure that your questions are not too many, because people get bored when it comes to filling out surveys. Just the other day, one of my nutrition coaches sent me a survey and said, this will take only 2 minutes of your time, so please fill it out. It's for my research. And so I thought, oh, he's already my coach. 2 minutes, I have 2 minutes for him. Oh my God, I regretted why I opened that survey. Every question had at least 30 boxes that you had to tick. You couldn't miss. When you tried to go to the next one, you could say you haven't finished this question. And there were 18 questions. So it definitely wasn't 2 minutes of my time. And I guarantee you don't want to be doing that to people, because next time you ask them, they'll scroll right past your survey saying, well, last time I did the survey, it took me ages and I'm not going there again. Or give them optional, questions where they can say good, bad, not too bad, whatever. Those easy things to tick. Though for that, you can have 8, even 9 questions. But make it easy for people to answer your questions. Your job is to listen, take notes, tune in to the inner answer they are not telling you. People, you can sense something someone's saying without saying it. If you tune into your gut instinct, as we call it, it gives you so much information. And the psychologists call it body language. Your job is to read their body language as they answer you, because they'll give you so much information with their body language if you are sitting with them. If you're holding a phone conversation with somebody, try to make it a visual conversation, like maybe WhatsApp video or Messenger video, or even a Zoom call as opposed to a phone call, because on a phone call you can only hear someone, and sometimes people actually put on an act and you can't really hear the real message behind what they're saying to you. So you're a professional, thank them for giving you their time, and ask them whether they'd be interested to hear from you when the product or service is produced or launched. Or would they be ready to take a look at a short video or join you in a webinar where they can learn more about that product or service if you're promoting a product or service that's already created and is already on the market for people to take part in, like Abby does. So when you ask people questions, people get more curious, and you can tell who's the right fit or who's going to waste your time. And the worst answer you can actually ever get from somebody is a maybe. Maybe you have read the article I sent you in the hub. That maybe is the worst answer somebody can give you. That person is stealing your time, because you keep thinking they're going to say yes at some point. So you want somebody to say yes or no, even if it's a no, not today, because at least there might be a yes tomorrow, and it's not a maybe. It is not today. So don't be bothering me now. And when somebody says not today, say, can I reach out to you in 3 months, 6 months, a year? Then there is a time frame you can reach out to them again. Or, and if they were just being polite, they'll say, no, what I really mean is no. So you can still also get the not today to a proper no, and not to chase that person, follow up, nightmare. So you all want to build a business that's recognized, like Adidas, like Coca-Cola, like Skechers, like all those brands that you love, like Calvin Klein, like whatever, You want to, from the very get-go, you know who you are, right? You know who you are. So I don't have to tell you who you are. I hope you do. But what do you do? So many people struggle with that. What do you do? Even if you know I produce a sauce, that's not how you present that, right? Because that can be so bland. Someone can say, I already have so many sources in my cupboard, I don't need one more. So you have to make it more attractive. Who do you do it for? And that's who you start with. Not what you do, but who you do it for. I help accountants get through their own books of accounts and get more clients in their business. Now, someone will say, how do you help accountants? Well, I am an accountant's accountant. Okay, so now you're telling them who you do it for and what you do. You start with who you do it for, and you start with the benefit they get for doing what you do for them. And why and how you help them is where you put the fripperies and the ribbons on the whole thing. So this is something I do in my digital media business. I'm a business transformational strategist and coach, and I help ambitious marketers and new business organize your offers, leverage your social media, target the right people, and build a business that loves and serves your lifestyle. And that gets someone curious, because you've not told them you're an accountant, because immediately you tell somebody you're an accountant, they think, I know what you do. Even if they don't know, they just even know the word accountant, but they don't even know the details of what an accountant does. When you give people one sentence words of what you do, people will always think, I know what you do, and dismiss you mentally. So they may still be paying you attention, but they've already dismissed you. I don't need an accountant, or I already have an accountant. You see, if you tell people that, oh, I can help you get fit, they'll go, I already have a gym, and I don't have the budget for a fitness trainer. So they've already dismissed you, and they've already taken away the window for you to give them a bit more. So give them a bit more so they get more curious enough to want to know more. Make sense? So your core brand message must have who you are, because that's who people connect to spiritually, energetically. What you do is what is the problem or challenge you're solving for them. Who is that for? Like I said last week, it's not for everybody. You don't mind that the world is buying, because the world is buying. Even now, as we are talking, someone's buying whatever it is you're going to sell. But why and how do you help them will give them the reason to come to you and not go to Roy or Reggae Sass. You know what I mean? Or buy a cake from Costco and say, oh, that Costco velvet cake is amazing. Yeah, but Sarah's cake tastes more scrumptious. It's solid. It has weight. When you eat a piece of that cake, you feel like you've had a full meal. So you don't want to go eating that velvet cake. This velvet cake is the bomb diggity. It's made by somebody who makes it with love. It's fresh. You don't know what's in that Costco cake. There's God knows how many preservatives. This is made fresh for you. And guess what? You can keep it for a year, because she puts in so many beautiful natural ingredients that hold its strength and hold it fresh for a year in your freezer, obviously, not on your cupboard. I can tell you now, her prices are amazing. Her prices are kind to the pocket. So go buy Sarah's cake. I promise you, you're going to love it. Now, it's cake, but it's different. It tastes different. It feels different. It has the right price. It's not like that generic cake that God knows has what in it. All that juice. You know what to do when you say the right thing to people. They're going to buy, and they're going to tell somebody else about it. That's the important thing. You're going to get brand ambassadors without paying them a penny. So, what are your values? What are your values? That's what people buy into. For a new business, I can tell you, whether it's digital or offline, people want to buy into your values, and your values come through from your brand message, from your tagline, from your, you want to call it your logo, you call it what you want. People read your brand values from that. Mine are reliability, integrity, efficiency, and consistency. I'll show up consistently for you until you give up on yourself. So I'll not give up on you. You will give up on you. I do everything with soul, because I want to receive the same from somebody else if I ever needed somebody else's help, support, training, whatever resources. I want them to come to me from the same place. I am as reliable as they come. If you want to get something done and I am the one to do it, and I say I'm going to do it, you will be guaranteed you will get it done. If you invite me to an event with a role to play, unless I am sick in a hospital or I'm out of the country, I'll come and do it. Efficiency is my middle name. I deliver and deliver and deliver with consistency. What are your values? When you dial your values down, your message, what you do, it will literally sieve out those who do not resonate with your values and bring to the top those that resonate with your values, and they'll come to you in numbers. You don't have to ever chase anybody, because when you go to the shop and you're looking for that Adidas trainer, the latest one, Adidas doesn't even know you, but you go buying it. You go finding it yourself. You have bought into the Adidas story, the Adidas values, the brand, the everything. And now you think it's your brand. You own it. So every brand has a story. What's yours? That story is the journey you've gone through that got you to produce what you're producing, or to promote that product you're promoting, because your values aligned with those values of that brand. How you show up, your colors, your messages, your visuals, your logos, your websites, for those of you who are not yet online and you're already selling something and telling you investing into that resource will get you positioned in the digital space in a way that everybody else who's selling the same thing is not positioned. When I was promoting a product in the network marketing space, which where some of you are, until I created my own website and I started promoting my story, I started sharing value on that website. I started sharing tips related to that product I was selling and service I was promoting. So people were coming to me because I was that person who was giving them value, who was giving them ideas on what to do, who was bringing my offline to the online, so that I'm not limited by my geographical location, but I am expanding to the global location. I was able to build my business better. So you want to know your brand positioning, your brand personality, your target market. Now, we spoke briefly about those last time, and we're diving deeper into those here. Okay, so think about those things every time you think about your idea, your seed. What will it look like? What are you wrapping around it so that it's presented better? What is that gift wrap around your gift? Inside it might be, but the gift wrapping looks so good, people want it. What's that wrap around your idea? Those three things, your positioning, your personality, your target market, are what will make your product, your idea, your service stand out above those who are already producing and promoting things that are similar. We call it a red ocean, because you don't want to be Einstein who stole a black person's idea. I'm not going there. But you know, Einstein created the bulb as we know it, and it took him over 1,000 attempts to do it. Right? So you don't want to be that person. Sometimes you want to be in the red ocean where there's already a market, there are products that are similar and people are already buying, and you just want to bring some of that market to your product. And the digital space is a beautiful place to do that, to bring some of that existing market to your product with ease. And so we're not going to go through that today, because that's a whole lot deeper stuff. But I want you to start thinking about your logo. When I say Adidas, Skechers, Calvin Klein, you know the logos. Dolce & Gabbana, you know their logos. You just literally recognize their brands miles away, because you know their logo. Not only do you know their logos, you know their color. They have brand colors. If you want to build a business in the digital space, you want to have colors that people recognize as your brand colors. And in the online or digital space, your website, your landing pages, your newsletters, your emails, your social media, your digital banners, your videos, your images, your podcasts, for those of you that want to go in that direction, your YouTube channels. In other words, your digital real estate must have those colors. And as you can see in front of you are the WODIN colors: a deep, rich red, almost brown, earthy red, and a deep golden yellow as well. Those are our colors, the WODIN colors. And they are attached to the richness in the color that is what we are called black. We're not black. That richness of the variety in our color and in our journey, right? In your print, you're going to use those details in your print. in your brochures, magazines, banners, brand photography, flyers, you name it. You're going to use those colors. You're going to use that logo. Don't be producing a banner. Today it looks blue. Next time it looks red. Then you could go to another event and you've created a green one. What are your colors? Unless your colors are like Senegal, you're going to have different, a specific, at least color palette that represents your brand. And on your product labels as well. And I'm assuming you're going to produce some of those beautiful merchandise we call merch that reflects your brand as well, so that when we go, say, to a trade event, we can spot you a mile away with your product merchandise, both on your exhibition and on your body as well. So think about those things when you're thinking about the source. When you're thinking about, even when you set up a center, it's going to have colors. You're going to have brand colors, you're going to have a logo, you're going to have some banners, you're going to have some of those things talking about you, So when you produce cake, I produced a logo for a cake company in Uganda. Actually, they reached out to us and we created a logo for them. And they said that when they put that logo out, it's almost like their business stood out from other cake makers. It looks so classy, it looks so beautiful, that they thought these people have been around forever. They are buying more cakes from them since the day we created that logo for them. So think about the logo for your cakes. It's not just people talking about your cake and telling other people about it. You want people to find your cake online as well and be able to purchase and make an order online without ever having to pick up the phone and talk to you as a person. So in the old days, you had to order a logo from someone who was an artist who created it physically, analog. Now, logos are created using our digital gadgets, and you can even create your own logo yourself. Just know that your logo will change, and it will change. So don't be attached to it being the logo that you're going to hold forever. You can have the colors, because those colors are spiritual. There's a spiritual connection to your brand colors. But your logo structure and shape and image and graphic will change with time. Because your brand will progress, it will grow, it will be more, like we have Nike. It's literally Adidas is just the word Adidas. Nike is just a tick. With time, your logo will become something so much simpler, so much easier to associate with, so much easier to understand. Google is just the word Google. You see, so think about your logo as something that will evolve. So don't get attached to the artistical bit. So think about how you're going to promote and advertise your product or your service. The digital space has opened the world up to become one global market on the interwebs, but don't be fooled by the digital space. Every website online is looking for a customer or a subscriber, a member. Every ministry wants a member. So every website is looking for you to subscribe or to buy, so that you and to keep you in their ecosystem. And that is what you want to do. Every person who visits your website, for whatever reason, chooses to leave you their email and their name so that you can marinate on them. You can keep dripping on them until they make a decision to buy, or they become the maybes that you're going to release. Because the beauty with building that community in the digital space is you can remove some people if they are not making a commitment. 2 years down the road, this person is in your group. They are not engaging, they're not saying anything, and they're weighing down your community. And when you release them, you make space for those that are meant to work with you. So advertising is building your community, building your audience, building your buyer list. And that's all it's about. And without advertising and marketing, nothing moves. Everything seems to stay in the same place. Like you have a whole beautiful inventory and your garage is full of it. Nobody's buying it. You're not getting any orders. You want to be like Amazon, okay, where multiple people come to you and use your platform as a marketplace. We created one for a lady in Canada, and she's now building a little mini consultancy marketplace where people actually bring their businesses and advertise it on her platform. She created a marketplace and she calls it Okaplex. So whatever your idea, it can be turned into a digital real estate. Just make sure that you have a digital presence of some sort. You might choose to be on social media, but you don't own that. On the other hand, your website, you own that. And remember what I said about your website? Don't treat it like somebody who decides, I'm not running this anymore, and you abandon it. It's like abandoning your shop on the street. You can't just do that. So don't just walk away from your website, especially if you have built value in that website. Someone out there can buy that website of you, even if they give you £500 for your website. That's £500 you've got back, right? So when you build a website, think about your exit strategy, even from that digital real estate. You have social platforms that you can actually start creating your brand. And please, congruence is key. Don't have on one brand, you have Ebi. On the other brand, you have a bear. On the other brand, you have whatever. You have to have, when I go to Twitter, when I go to your website, when I go to Instagram, when I go to Facebook, when I go to Pinterest, when I go to LinkedIn, when I go to TikTok, wherever I go, I find your brand by just typing in a certain word. So if you're looking for WODIN online, you're going to find us there. And it's a simple WODIN Liverpool, WODIN Liverpool, WODIN Liverpool. Even our website is WODIN. And WODIN is short for Women and Digital Inclusion. And so it's easy to find us because there's congruence. You cannot miss us if you're looking for us, because our brand is congruent in all the places that you would be looking in the digital space. And above all, don't forget the colors. If I see a green WODIN, it might not be WODIN. It might not be us. It might be somebody else using the word WODIN for whatever reason. But because our colors are a deep, dark red, earthy red, and gold for WODIN. So most of our stuff has those colors within the digital content, whether it's images, graphics, banners, it has those colors. Consistency keeps people, they can recognize your brand, and they can also recognize your copycats, because they would know that these are not WODIN's colors. So this is either a copycat or it's just some other brand that exists in the digital space. So we talked about models. You're going to choose. You need to choose which models you want to choose. You want to also consider social enterprises. Some of you want to build a social enterprise like Uchechi, where your core objective is to achieve a social, societal, or environmental impact. Whatever you generate as surplus, you reinvest in the business. It's almost like a community interest company. Online business is a business. Some people think, well, it's online, I can just do what I want with it. It's only that it's conducted almost entirely online, but it actually generates revenue and cash in the bank like an on the street business. So if you're running a business online, treat it like a business, because you hope that it will reward you like a business. And so it is an idea. Even if you produce, because most of the things online are actually physical products that are sold online, but there are some things that are not non-physical. All our services are digital inside Kalunji Group, like graphics, website design, website wellness and care, branding, digital branding, ghostwriting, book writing and editing. They are all digital online kind of services. And so we have productized that service and turned it into something that someone can pay for, whether we are on the beach, sleeping or working, because it's all digital. We created a production line, we created a distribution channel. And that's what you want. Those are words you want to consider for your business online. Have I created a distribution channel? Have I created a production line? Online or offline? If you're producing something physically, what's your production process? How does Julie get your product without ever having to step into Liverpool to get it? But they get your product. There's shipping. I buy stuff off Amazon and it's shipped from Poland or China or America or here in the UK or even Africa. But I buy it on Amazon here. And all I'm told is the time it will take to get to me. And that's what you want to also dial down when you're producing a physical product and selling it online. You want to be sure about delivery to the customer. How quickly will that happen? And then be very specific about making sure that your deliveries happen within the windows you tell your customers they will receive. All the work can be done online. And usually with this option, all you need is your laptop, your tablet, your phone, and an internet connection. It gives you incredible freedom to live and work anywhere you want to live and work. But I can guarantee you, don't for even 1 minute fall for anyone who tells you that it is simple, you don't have to do anything, you know, it will take you 2 minutes of your day. They are telling you a blatant lie. And so your product, your service, your platform to sell, your contact information, marketing, promoting, selling, advertising, you have to provide customer support, and you have to keep in touch with your customers and audience in the digital space. That's all. Because people think if you're doing digital, it's simple. No, someone has to do all this digital work. Someone has to be there responding to your customers, at least within the windows of time you've told people you respond to your customers' questions, inquiries, purchases, or even returns. You have to have a returns policy. If you don't have that, you could be hit with a huge bill if somebody starts to make complaints about you in the right ears and about your product. So you must have a privacy policy, data protection policy, returns, and terms of use policy. If you're producing something rosemary like yours, you have to have a terms of use, you have to have a returns policy, and they have to be watertight to protect you, because you are the one that people would try and take advantage of with your product. With digital products, a lot of people buy digital products and think that they can return them, because you can return a digital product. It means canceling. You cancel the use or your access, your subscription. So some people think I'll take it for 30 days, grab everything I need, and then cancel. So you have to have a policy that protects you from such chancers, so that they'll try to take advantage of your services and just take them. So you have to have those in place. On your website, obviously, you can't have those on Facebook, you can't have those on Instagram, and you're not going to have them written on a piece of paper. How do I, based in Germany or based in Uganda or Nigeria, how do I access those things written on a piece of paper? So you have to have them in a digitally accessible way. Excuse me, I threw my cup over there. So it's just a difference in how you set up, how quickly you can set up. I can have a website up and running in 48 hours with my inventory all added to it. And all I need to do is to start promoting my product. Obviously, I have to have the product so people can purchase, or I can pre-launch and gauge the interest of my audience on whether they'd like to have my product and how many show interest, especially if I run some adverts to that pre-launch event. Then I can actually produce as much or as little as people have shown interest in my business. The only thing is online is more flexible, that's it, than a typical bricks and mortar business. Like for instance, if I was online, I wouldn't have to find have somewhere I can bake cakes or make sauce. But if I'm selling Rosie's sauce, then I have to make sure I have the sauce wherever it is I can keep it, or I have a process where Rose makes the sauce and sends it to my customer. It's like print on demand. Like Amazon has print on demand. I have customers who buy my books. Someone can buy 1 book or they can buy 100 books. Either way, Amazon prints my books based on the customer's order. So I don't have to have a ton of books kept God knows where, maybe in my loft, waiting for people to buy. No, when they buy, their copy is printed on demand. So I can be promoting Rosie's sauce, and when a customer makes an order, she makes that sauce on demand. Can be very time consuming, I can't guarantee, so don't try that model, Rosie. Just giving an example. Okay, so most of you, Rosie is going to go into a cottage industry because you want to start a small scale, to start manufacturing goods, producing things probably out of your home to start with, or you could end up in a purpose-built facility that requires capital, that requires a commitment, maybe a monthly commitment, because I don't know many people who will want to be paid when you get orders to go make the sauce. So you're going to have to go make the sauce, and then it is ready, it's packaged from that purpose-built facility for when orders are made. So it's often labor intensive. As you can see, handmade, hands and crafts, cake, soaps, All those things, they're labor intensive. And the idea is some of those also have a sell by or use by date kind of information. And so whatever you produce, you have to be sure that the vast majority of it, at least 80%, will be sold. So there's very little loss in terms of product that has to be disposed of because it was not used. And so you're also competing with mass-produced factory goods like the Costco velvet cake, you know. So, but if you make yours super good, there's no competition. So many people run a cottage industry and then they don't even know it. The idea is they call themselves sole traders, partners, or small and limited companies, but they're all in the cottage industry. There's one area very many of you probably have never thought of, but probably Abby has to an extent: affiliate marketing. I'll send you a downloadable resource so you can think about affiliate marketing as a means of sustaining your business, even as you're building your business. Because the business, your idea is a seed. By the time it germinates into a tree, you'll have spent a ton load of resources or invested. Depends on what you do and what you do in the end. You could be investing or spending. But when you have a complementary resource, a complementary product that you can promote that's produced by somebody else, that you don't have to put up any initial bite in order to promote it, you can actually make a commission by just selling it. You can make some money that complements your business, and it does not need you to produce anything. It's already produced. So I will send you some information on that, and it's something you can consider. It helped me hugely in the way that I was making some money, even though I wasn't yet selling anything I was producing. I was making some money from affiliate products, especially through the content I shared, through the messages I was doing. I was doing live videos. I still do live videos. But every time I would do a live, I would recommend something. And inside, behind that, usually there was an affiliate product that somebody could actually buy, and I made a percentage of it. In fact, there was one product that was 100 pounds per sale, and the product was, I think, 150. And they would give you 100 pounds and keep the 50. I don't know how they survived like that, but hey ho, I didn't mind because I was making like 500, 600, 800 pounds a week just off that product. And it was helping me. Even when my business was limping, this little product was paying me some money. So affiliate marketing can be a great way for cash flow for your business, even as you carry on with your business. Services, products, you decide. Because I have seen some services. Uchechi is a service. Ebby's is a service. Rosemary Sarah is a physical product. Rachel is a service. Julie is a service. So we have more service providers and product producers and creators, but either way, the difference is the same in terms of promoting. Like I said, selling a £5 product and a £5,000 product takes the same energy. The only difference is who you're targeting. What's their budget? That's the only difference. So affiliate programs, they'll help you, especially your website. When you have a website, if you have a website and you're not promoting a complementary product that helps to keep the business going and even pays for that website and all those things, you're carrying the donkey, because your website can be very dry. And if there's nothing else that gets people to commit to something, they can go without buying. Yeah, even promoting a £1 product, I don't know how much they'd be paying you in terms of commission. At least get somebody to commit. And guess what? A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. So in the digital space, you can have your own e-store, you can have Etsy, Shopify, you can become an Amazon seller, eBay seller, ebooks, courses. You could create ebooks, Rosie. You might decide, I'm not going to produce this source, I'm just going to write a book about it and I'm going to promote that book. And then out of that, I'm going to be able to create sources and even hold a kids soup kitchen where I support people to produce their own soup, and they pay me for the pleasure, and I don't have to go through any of the headache of returns or challenges with the product, whatever. As I become a consultant in healthy, delicious, scrumptious sauces and all the things that come out of that. So you can produce ebooks, you can produce e-courses, and All you have to do is brainstorm in your mind. Do a brainstorm. What do you really want to do? That's why I said, what's your vision for your business? Where is it gonna go? Because if you don't have these ideas, and you don't have to have them, it can take sharing them with somebody else, like you shared here, that we are kind of throwing ideas together, helping you to expand your vision so you can actually produce what it is you are baking in the oven. In the digital space, because that's where I focus my energies, you have coaches, consultants, affiliate products and services, software and app development, digital downloads, subscription programs, group training programs. And I know many of you are looking at these and thinking, "Ooh, where do I fall?" Rachel, you have models like Airbnb, where you can, you have shortlets in the UK, cottages in the UK, where they're all about shortlets. And in Uganda, you just transfer your model from the UK to Uganda. You just have to know the ground in Uganda and how things work in Uganda, and your business can be just as successful. When you want to do short stays and you want to have a hotel, start a hotel, Airbnb started a hotel business without building a single hotel. So do you want to start something similar? I know people who, there's a woman, she moved to Devon. She rented out 2 properties in Liverpool and turned them into Airbnbs. And she was, I think, pulling in around $2,000 a week from those properties. She was able to pay off the rent. I'm sure she was paying, the landlord was very happy to receive her rent, because I asked her, did the landlords know? She said, yeah, they did. They didn't care. They had lots of properties. So when you're starting a business like that, for instance, here in Liverpool, don't go renting a property from someone who has one house. They'll see your business model, they'll want to do the same, because that's how we humans are hardwired by default to do. So you find somebody with multiple properties, so they won't want to enter even, they won't even look at your business model. They'll be happy that you are going to get the property looking good for your shortlets. I mean, who rents out a horrible looking shortlet? Nobody. So you're going to make it look amazing even when you rent their properties. So don't wait until you buy God knows when. Consider renting out properties, doing your shortlets, as long as you let the landlords know. I don't know how Ebish does it, but I know a woman who did that. I think by the time she left, she had 4. When she went to Devon, she was renting out 4 properties, including the one she lived in. She was also doing it as an Airbnb kind of thing. And people would hire out her rooms and she would definitely make some money. And in fact, by the time she left, she had given up her nursing job. And when she went to Devon, they were already renting out 3 properties with her partners before they moved fully to Devon. I don't think she's still running the Liverpool ones, because that would mean someone having to do the preparation for her guests for her over here. But by the time she moved to Devon, she already had her business model. She already knew what she was doing, and she could just roll that from Liverpool to Devon. So you don't have to own the properties to actually start your hotel and short stays business. So you can do a few of all those growth models you're looking at. You can do a few of them. You don't have to just say, I'm going to focus on this and this alone. As long as what you do is in alignment and complements each other. For instance, we do coaching and consulting for businesses, for branding. We also have digital downloads. We promote affiliate products. We develop apps and software. We had a membership program until 2018. We shut that down. It needed so much work, but it was really good. I mean, who doesn't want monthly income? It was a residual income product, and we all have residual bills. Why shouldn't we have residual income? Remote working. I work remotely. My whole team works remotely, and so we can do anything. I could be sleeping and my team in the Philippines could be working, even when I'm sleeping. In Bulgaria, they are just an hour slightly ahead of UK, so there's not much window there, but you can have a team. It doesn't have to be local. We do brand collaborations. We advertise. We used to do franchises in network marketing. So any of these, when you look at your business, these are your digital growth models. There's a difference between your structure and your growth and your business model. Your model is how your business is going to grow to bring in income. So don't look at your business and think of only one way of making it bring income. As soon as you have a seed, Think about all the things you can do with that seed, with the plant, with the leaves, with the branches, with the stem, with the roots. All those are different parts of your business and what you can do with them once the seed has transformed into a plant. And each of those produces for you income. If we only focused on web design, we wouldn't have WODIN right now. It's because we opened up and looked at the proverbial plant as opposed to just the seed, that we were able to notice all the different things we can do in the digital space that can produce income for us without necessarily having to do all the work all the time. Yesterday, I received 2 notifications of people purchasing our website design and website wellness and maintenance packages. The day before, I received 4 notifications. These are notifications in your email telling you've made a sale, in other words. They are notifications telling you've sold something. So you want to have those. In the digital space, it's as simple as that, but it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes putting in what needs to be put in to have that output at the end of it. In other words, creating your distribution channel so that your structure actually brings in income. So that's it, guys. Your core values. Who's your ideal customer? You have that resource on your ideal avatar. What's your success model? Which business will suit your lifestyle? Which business will suit your values and will suit your income goals? Do your market research. Look at the people you want to interview. People, why do people like to be interviewed? You would be surprised. So you'll be surprised how easy it is for people to talk to about your business. Tune into your brand colors. Yeah, they might change, but I mean, your inner man here will tell you what are the colors that you must resonate with. That look in your wardrobe. When you look in your wardrobe, you might look at your wardrobe and it's a rainbow of colors. Like, you know, there is no clear specific one. But for me, when I look in my wardrobe, there's a specific color that stands out. I just have to stand in front of my wardrobe and I know that's my color. Like, I have several dresses, pants, tops, you know, shorts, all in that color. It just happens, you walk in a shop and they're selling all kinds of shorts, but you're zoning in that color. Your colors, your physical colors, your spiritual colors, they can turn into your business brand colors. You already resonate with them. You'll attract people who have the same propensity to the same colors. Define your power message. Practice saying it. Practice sharing it. What do you do? Who do you do it for? How do they change, you know, when you do it for them? And get some promotional photos done wearing your brand colors if you can. Don't sweat about it if you can't. Find some royalty-free images. You can use Pinterest for inspiration, a great platform for inspiration. For purposes of this, actually Pinterest will be your best resource for research. And then definitely, without a shadow of doubt, get your website created. We have a startup and charity rate for websites inside of our ecosystem. So if you want that done, reach out to me. I'll send you some information and you can decide if that's good for you, or you want to go and have your friend Joe or their brother build your website for you. Either way, have a website, some contacts forms, somewhere people can reach out to you so that they can so that they can get to know about you in the digital space without having to meet you in person. So you want to be the green sheep or the white sheep, you decide. Until you are a brand, and you are, but most of us don't embrace that brand. You are no different from anyone else in your workplace, in your career, in your business, especially in those businesses where several other people are promoting the same. You want to be different. You want to be different. That's how you will attract more than everybody else doing the same. That difference, that unique selling point. I sent you a resource that you can actually use to tap into that. A lot of people don't take the time to go through that resource because there's so many questions and you're like, oh, these questions. Yes, all those questions. Successful businesses have either sat down and done that when they're starting, or they sat down at some point and did it. Either way, they did it in order to build that difference and stand out. So that's it today, ladies. I know we've gone way over our usual time, but the important thing is all these things. Rachel has put a survey link inside the chat section, and please do fill it in because our sponsor for UPYA is a lot more strict on us than the last program was. and they actually actively want to see progress. They want to see feedback from our participants. So do please fill it in. This literally takes 2 minutes. I promise you. It's not like my nutrition coach who sent me a God knows how many questions and I was screaming in my head, why did I fill it in? I wish you an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for stepping in today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Sidney Elmar Sidney Fahman. Oh God, thank you for today. May you bless us with this knowledge. May this knowledge enrich us in ways we never thought. We pray that all our dreams may come true, that we may become bigger and bigger than what we thought. May this be the starting point for all of us to be successful business women. I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Sarah. So some of you are very excited, waiting for social media until you are very clear on all the things we've talked about last time and today. Your social media becomes a difficult journey because people don't know what you're talking about. You are not the go-to for whatever it is you are asking them to pick up and take up from you. When you are clear on those things, your message will be clear and you will start to attract people who are attracted to your message and your content and your offers. So you're going to get there on the 3rd of August. Be sure to show up. We are having our full-on meaty, juicy, like Sarah's cake, social media selling session. Wow. Next week, the 27th, we have Bridget Doyle, who's coming to give us a very, very deep session on your business plan. I think it will be an introduction to business plan, legalities and everything. And she will conclude with the business plan in August. So don't miss, because this is for you. Some of the people we are bringing on charge like a fortune, but because I know them, they're happy to come and teach almost at no price. So sure.
Great. Would that be a live section?
No, not only because these people don't even live in Liverpool.
That's
getting them here could be also very costly. And this specific program was virtual. We did not put in for a physical session. The only physical session might be the last one where we actually meet and celebrate each other. So I'm putting plans together for that one.
It's okay. Thank you very much for this section.
Thank you, Evie. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. I think Rachel dropped off at that point. So, ladies, I'm going to end this session. Have a blessed day. It's not roasting for some people. Me, I would have loved the roast.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Bye. Thank you so much. God bless.
Bye.
Thanks, Sylvia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chechi. Thank you so much.